What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Pugilism, aka MKO Boxing. Remember, follow me on TikTok, like and subscribe on YouTube, all that good stuff. So, I'm going to talk about the main event of the Zone card that took place in America last night, and that was the main event between Diego Pacheco and Steven Nelson. Now, yeah, overall, it was a decent fight, but I would say at the same time, it was pretty much like a one sided fight. Wasn't really beat down by Pacheco, but Pacheco was, just pretty much taking, damn near every round. I think the final scorecards, I think it was something around 117, 111. So he won it very handily, but it was one of those where, as much as Pacheco won it very clearly, no doubt about who the winner was. He did have it quite tough in there because he used his attributes, which is, I'm not a coach, but that's one of those things that you look at boxing and sometimes you see these taller fighters and they sort of give up their height and they allow the smaller man to get in range, and then they have a punch up with him. They kind of have a tear up, and they let the shorter fighter get into range and give them chances that they shouldn't really be giving them. And I like to see with the taller guys, sort of fight at range, use your attributes, use your height, use your movement, use your reach, and don't allow the shorter guy to get in range to do any damage. And Diego Pacheco, to his credit, that's the way he kind of fought this fight. From the first bell, he was on his toes. And he was quite impressive in the way that he's on his toes, he's moving about, but he's also sort of throwing a solid hard jab at Nelson. Was able to bust him up later in the fight, and although he's moving and he's using his lateral movement, moving the feet, giving him angles, still he's still at the same time able to sort of plant his feet, land the power shots from range, and then get out of there. Very yeah. Overall, I was quite impressed with the game plan of Pacheco because he done what any coach would tell you to do, which is you're the bigger man, you're the taller man. Um, you don't get into sort of an up close and personal brawl with the shorter guy. You don't give him that opportunity to get inside. You hit him hard and you use your range, and that's what Pacheco done sort of all night long for the 12 rounds. He might be disappointed he didn't get a knockout, but I think it's one of these fights that will serve him well going on in his career because when you sort of you go in there, you knock someone out in the first round or you knock someone out very early in a fight, you learn that okay, I can punch, but you don't learn much else about yourself as a fighter. And I think those 12 rounds that Pacheco got last night will sort of teach him things about himself, and they'll help him to stay composed if he gets into another fight where he's hit the guy with everything and the guy's still there. And that was kind of like what we got last night because Pacheco landed some bombs and brilliant counters from the outside, and but Steven Nelson was still coming after him. He was still bobbing and weaving and coming forward, and he'd take what Pacheco had and then still come after him and sometimes land something. But for the most part, you've got to give credit to Pacheco really because he just it was pretty much, it wasn't quite a shutout, but it was as close to a shutout as you can get because he just brilliant game plan by Pacheco. 12 rounds, movement, long straight shots, just landing every single time. Steven Nelson couldn't stay out of the way of Pacheco's long straight punches, and the good thing was he wasn't just throwing sort of arm punches; he was throwing these punches with power, and you could see. And sometimes he'd even use that lead right uppercut, and he hurt Nelson a couple of times in his fight, wobbled him a few times, but to Nelson's credit, he was just so tough that he just kept coming forward, and Pacheco couldn't really get rid of him. I mean, he even got to the point where in the 12th round, following a similar pattern to the first 11, Pacheco on the move and everything, but Nelson got himself close, landed a good shot, landed a good right hand, and actually wobbled Pacheco. But to Pacheco's credit, he sort of recovered, held on for a bit, and then got through the round, and that was it. So, yeah, overall, good performance by Pacheco. He done exactly what you're supposed to do. used all his natural attributes and natural advantages, and pretty much shut out Steven Nelson, who's a good tough opponent. But Pacheco showed that, look, he's levels above that, and I look forward to seeing what he does next. Let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comment section below, and until next time, MKO Pugilism over and out.